Okay. For those watching later on, welcome to the Prize Picks pregame show. Tonight, the Knicks take on the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry in the building with a chance to make history. He is 2 3-pointers away from the all-time record for 3-pointers in a career. I assume we're both going to be predicting that he hits that tonight. There's not a prop for whether he makes history though, so that's unfortunately off the table.
I was hoping that would be a taco for
Taco
tonight.
Tuesday special.
Yeah, two 1.5, I guess it would be, because if he hits 2, he gets the record.
They did have earlier in the day a Taco Tuesday special of 4.5, but the last time I did that, he hit 3 threes in a game, and I will say I am expecting him to hit more than that. John Macri, Andrew Claudio here to do a full 5-pick flex play for this game. Real quick, just to recap the last time that we sent out one of these things from Saturday against the Bucks. I took an all Bucks 5-pick flex play, as well as Alvin Kamara to be over on rushing TDs, 1/2 of a rushing TD. He had a touchdown against the Jets in the second quarter, so I hit that. And then I took Chris Middleton over 3-pointers, 2, and he hit it. He hit 4 threes. I took Bobby Portis over 1.5 threes. He hit it. Grayson Allen over 10.5 points. He hit it. And then Drew Holiday over 1.5 3-pointers made, and he hit 1. So I hit 4 out of 5 on my 5-pick flex play on Sunday for the game. It's not bad. I was begging on playback for Drew Holiday literally to just hit 1 more 3, and he just kept passing for some reason. What do you think he is, a point guard? Having said all of that, we're going into tonight's game against the Warriors. John, just initially, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. What's not to feel?
What's not to feel great about?
What's not to feel wonderful about if you're a Knicks fan? I mean, it was funny. Like I wrote a newsletter on Monday, basically saying it's kind of an about face. Like, this is where this team is at, and I had certainly been cognizant of where things stood. But I didn't until I typed it out that I realized, wow, things have gotten pretty dire since November 1st, especially. That said, it's a national TV game tonight. Julius Randle, in something that actually I think makes me more angry, shows up for national TV games. He really cares. He tries hard.
This is when we're getting effort from Julius Randle.
He tries hard, when the cameras are on and the whole thing. And so that's good for him. Hope he gets a nice pregame interview out of it as well. So look, the Warriors it's a back-to-back. They didn't get in until I think it was 1 p.m. today from Indiana. So kind of a rushed day. I could see this one being close down the stretch. I thought our conversation yesterday with Andy was really informative in terms of, the Warriors offense just hasn't been very good lately. Like, they're just, they're missing threes because they have a lot of role players. Guys are missing shots, and but it's funny. Guys have a tendency to come into Madison Square Garden against this team and hit shots. You want to know my fearless prediction tonight?
What's up?
And I don't know if I'm willing to put Prize Picks money on it. Getting ahead of myself here. I actually think Curry's going to go under the number that is listed for him, which not 2, not under 2, but I think he's going to go under the 5.5, because I think, as Andy was saying, this has clearly been weighing on him. And I could see him coming out a little tight, whatever, and then maybe he gets the record in the second quarter. Maybe he gets it in the third quarter. Does he catch up enough? Maybe he makes up for it in the end of the game. I don't know. But I also do know one last thing I want to say, and then I'll turn it over to you, is Tibbs does have a bit of a track record of like, look, we're not going to let this guy beat us. And then other players tend to beat them. So would not be shocked if he did not get 6 threes.
So same brain, first of all, on the fact that I also thought about how Tibbs doesn't like to let the other team's best player beat us. And in factoring in, I circled a couple of other props that make a little more sense to me. The Steph going under on 5.5 threes, I don't hate it. I do think he's going to get this record out of the way early, though.
I think he's going to try to.
And I'll think he'll be able to get that monkey off his chest and relax the rest of the game. However, Look, if the Knicks had their full complement of players available, it'd be a little different. But the fact that you can't throw RJ, or I guess Grimes is a different story.
Listen,
because
man,
Grimes wasn't in the rotation to begin with.
All due respect to RJ, all due respect to rookie Quentin Grimes, going to be a good defender someday. I'm not sure I trust either of those guys guarding Steph Curry as much as I trust a little older guys a little bit more veteran savvy. I think the fact that Alec Burks is back in the lineup tonight gives the Knicks a phenomenally better chance than if he had been out of the lineup. I think I trust him most out of anyone on Steph, with the possible exception of Derrick Rose, which may sound a little nuts, but like
just a little.
But yet, here's the thing: Rose is obviously he's a veteran. He's got a big body, and we've seen Rose get beat is on picks and guys just blasting their like shooting into the paint. That's not really Steph. Steph is more manipulative. Steph has the old man game. He's always had the old man game. He has that level of craft, which is why, again, quickly, RJ Grimes, quickly, another young defender. These are the guys that scare me against Steph. Burks, Rose, I think I trust those guys a little bit more. It might sound crazy. I even trust Randle on a switch. Again, national TV, dotting his I's, crossing his T's.
Okay. Because the Knicks are, I'll just simplify my answer to them. Because the Knicks aren't at full strength, I don't have any confidence in any of the guys that you mentioned to hold him under 5.5 threes. No, I just think 5.5 is like 6 is a big number, and he's hit it a lot of times this year, and maybe he rises to the occasion. But the trends lately have shown that like you can hope he'll miss. Like if he goes 5 of 17 tonight, that's on par for what he's been doing lately. And the Knicks are going to give up a lot of 3-point attempts. I'm going to stay away from Steph for a second. Let's just start here. Over 2. Are you taking that for Steph tonight? Is he going to get the record 2 nights?
Oh yeah.
That's all I wanted to know. That's of course he'll get the record tonight. And then we'll see as far as the picks go. You mentioned Julius Randle on national television. I actually worry if he doesn't have a good game tonight, because then like national TV Randle isn't a factor anymore. The odds available for Julius Randle tonight. Hold on. I buried the lead here. For those who have no idea what we're talking about with the PrizePicks pregame show. PrizePicks is our good friend that's been sponsoring us for the last.
Talk about our good friend, please.
Yeah, our good friend of PrizePicks. I've just posted a link to the chat that you all are participating in. Shout out Jason M, Chip Murphy, Charles. Apparently the Claudio cult is repping down here in the 813. Everybody joining us here on YouTube live. We appreciate it, but we appreciate it even more if you took advantage and gave a shout out to our friends over at PrizePicks. Use promo code Film School and get an instant match deposit on your first deposit up to $100. They've been really good to us lately. They've been really appreciative of the reciprocation that you guys have shown with the screenshots and how Knicks Film School took you to them. So as they are our friends, we'd appreciate that you would be good friends to them as well. Julius Randle, John Macri.
Now that I have checked my daughter's work. Here's Sash, you forgot your pencil.
Is she good? Is she complete? Is she done?
It was a little bit of a hit and miss there. We had to circle the picture that had one fewer than the previous picture.
Oh, highlights. Like one of these things is what's missing from the picture. Is it like the Creed
no,
thing in the
no,
office where they're the same picture?
No, it's like here. No, they're the same picture. No, it's like here's 5 apples, and then circle, and there's 2 pictures next to it. One with like 2 apples and one with 4 apples, and you're supposed to circle the picture with 1 fewer apples than the original picture.
Oh.
So it's concept of like if you take away 1. Yeah.
They are telling us in the chat to comment on Rebecca Harlow and Wally. I'll just say congratulations.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave this one. Congratulations, Rebecca Harlow,
friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod. Still, I gotta tell you, when I had her on the pod, it was fairly early on, and it was arguably the most excited I had been to do an interview, and I think that was in well over 100 episodes at that point.
Should we send her a Knicks Film School like baby outfit or something? That's an option. I don't know if it just becomes like a rag or something, but you know.
I mean, yeah, high quality rag.
There you go. Shout out to our friends.
Yeah, let's make that happen. I will.
Okay. That's
I'm gonna go ahead.
You. You're the one with the connections to Rebecca Harlow.
I won't send the email right now, but we'll make that up.
So Julius Randle on national television. The line's available again, courtesy of our friends over at PrizePicks. Randle 20.5 for points. Randle 5.5 for assists. Randle 9.5 for rebounds. And then Randle is not listed for 3-pointers at the moment. And then in free throws, it's 3. Are you sticking with
3 free throws?
3 free throws. It's been that for a while now.
What's that?
It's been that for a while now.
That's an interesting one, actually.
How so?
Well, so again, I'm leaning on the interview we just did on the Knicks Film School podcast, in which he was talking about, look, the Warriors' one weak spot is like they don't really have interior defense. It's just Kevon Looney, Kevon Looney is solid, right? Kevon Looney's solid. But if you look at who's getting matched up on Julius, I mean, couldn't you see Julius trying to go after Andrew Wiggins a little bit? And it's funny, like Wiggins is a good, solid defender, good wing defender. As Andy said, maybe he'll be matched up on like Derrick Rose or one of the Knicks guards. So like, is it Draymond Green? Now, if it's Draymond Green, then now Draymond Green does foul sometimes. He gets a little hacking and whacking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just of all the possibilities that exist, I could see Julius going over that number tonight. I actually think of everything you mentioned, other than maybe the points. I think I probably although let me just, again, this is why he's one of the most confusing players in the NBA this season. Confusing is probably a generous word. What did Tibbs praise him for after the Milwaukee game? Tibbs praised him for trying to make the right play, continuing to get his teammates involved, continuing to be a offensive fulcrum instead of looking for his own shot. I think this is some messaging clearly that the Knicks organization is trying to get out right now. We saw, Ian Begley have a report something to this effect or noting that. I don't know. I could see the assist number 2. At the same time, how do you feel great about anything involving Julius Randle right now?
The only thing I feel good about is free throws. I was going to stay away from Julius Randle. I didn't know if you thought that this was a national TV game and that the actual thing that we could do here, John, is instead of seeing what the over numbers are with RJ out, should I work my magic and take a Julius Randle under 20.5?
I'm trying to think which I would rather you take, the under on the assist or under on the points.
I think you'd rather me take the under on the points. So Julius Randle, especially with the guys that are out, like where are they getting points from?
Julius getting 21 points on 25 shots is not where I'm at. I mean, but then again, as has been a critique of many a Knicks fan this season, kind of, it's weird. He's a player that at times you want him to get his own, but you want him to get his own in a certain type of way that doesn't stagnate the offense, as opposed to holding, wait for the double and then try to get the assist, which kind of gums up the offense in a different way. Go with the under on points. I think that's the mature thing to do.
That is the mature thing to do. I mentioned we're staying away from Steph Curry. Let's talk about Alec Burks. So the lines for Alec Burks: points 16.5, assists 2.5, rebounds 5, and then 3-pointers 2.5. Alec Burks, I want to say since he's been inserted into the starting lineup, has played at least 36 minutes in all games. I'm going to double check that because I attributed some of the lack of productivity that he's had recently into the fact that he's just flat out playing more minutes. So his role as it expands will make things a little bit more difficult for him. So he had one game where he played 27 and one game where he played 29. Both of those were the blowouts against Indiana and Denver. But other than that, he played 39 minutes against the Hawks, 39 minutes against Brooklyn, 43 minutes against Chicago, 36 against the Spurs, and then 36 again against Toronto. And now is coming back from a game with the birth of his child, after the birth of his child. So there's a couple of lines that I actually like from Alec Burks. The first one being 3 threes that he'll make that tonight. I think the day off for him might have been a bit of a reset. He's playing a lot of minutes.
Hold on.
What's up?
Why was he off?
Because of the birth of his child.
All right. I would imagine
that he said no sleep, and this is actually a reason to go under.
That he accompanied his wife to the hospital and
yes.
it's not like there are special hospitals for NBA players and other rich and famous people where they have like a nice king size bed in the next room with soundproof walls. Like if he just had a kid and he's been through childbirth with his wife, Alec Burks ain't got much sleep.
Okay. He also wasn't playing basketball at a rigorous level for the last 2 days. I'm not trying to belittle what being the husband in the room with the wife during delivery is. But
it has nothing to do with during delivery. It's the next 24 to 48 hours in which you're staying
do you
in
not
the hospital
remember what
and you're
your
not
wife
getting
was
sleep.
doing minutes after your second child was born? She was she was commenting on the Knicks Film School post-game show.
Exactly. The actual if you have enough drugs, the actual process is quite pleasant.
Okay.
It is what happens with the child in the room the next 24 to 48 hours, when you waking up and screaming and whatnot. And like, I don't know if he's a new dad. I would imagine he has another kid or something, but so maybe not the first rodeo, but it doesn't matter. You're not getting any sleep. That's why I'm staying away from every Burks
Alec Burks. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going under because you never know. Sometimes you do get the new dad bumps, but I'm not taking the overs. That's for sure.
Okay. I'm just going to cross Alec Burks across the board then.
I think.
Okay. Yes.
The line that you're looking for. I mean, they should have an explicit content warning before they print Evan Fournier's name on these things now.
Mm-hmm.
He's at 12.5 points. The two, oh my God. And I just saw they put Nerlens Noel up there. How nice.
There's the Emmanuel Quickly line up here too.
So that's the one I was going to. So the two lines that I think for points on the Knicks that you got to like, other than Randle, are Quickly over 12.5 points and Derrick Rose over 16.5 points.
Okay.
I feel like just because of the number, Quickly is a little bit of a safer bet. Because Rose,
I was about to say, how so?
Well, because Rose has had, if you look at his games this season,
mm-hmm.
he has a lot of, I'm off the top of my head. I would think that a lot of his games, most of his games are games where he has scored like in the teens. And he has not been a guy this year who has like, all right, I'm going to take over this entire game. He takes over little stretches of games where he comes in and he's like, wow, if Derrick Rose didn't get those, 3 buckets there in a 5-minute span, where would the Knicks be when it looked like their offense was nothing? But that to me at this point seems more where he lives than like, I'm going to go nuts. So like, so here you go. 5 times this season, he's gotten over 16 points, and only 3 times this season has he's gotten over 18 points. Like the majority of his games that he's played, it's between 11 and 18. It's like right in that mid-teens sweet spot.
I agree. I mean, just the fact that Quickly's at 12 and Rose is like 17 is more than 13.
17 is more than 13.
It's literally the simplification of that. But the only thing I'll say is that Quickly is in the middle of one of his slumps. So I wonder if are you projecting he breaks out tonight?
I'm projecting that I'm a couple things. For one, I think he's going to play a lot of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, whether it's inspired by Steph or whatever the case may be, I think he's
real quick. Jason M in the chat. IQ will have a career night and then enter health and safety protocols tomorrow.
Exactly. There you go.
That's the reason to take IQ. I agree with you that I like Rose. I like Quickly more than Rose as far as points. These are both two props I kind of like. So it's actually neither of which I think would be a bad call to go with.
I don't think either is a bad call. I like the Quickly one a little bit more. That's probably where I'm going here. So yeah.
Can I take a very serious under for the Knicks right now? And it's one that's actually worked for me lately that I think it's okay to.
I can't wait.
I'm not even bothering with the whether or not this is a curse or not, or I actually think Evan Fournier under is a pretty good call at the moment in points. The last 4 games, he's had less than 10 points in each of them. Unless you're saying like because the Knicks are playing shorthanded, that I just think something's broken, officially broken in the starting 5.
Something's broken in the starting 5, but he still gets his looks up.
It's not necessarily a good thing that he gets his looks up. He's missing those looks.
I mean, look, going under on Fournier is certainly not nothing to be ashamed of there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's talk about some Warriors.
Sure.
So Andrew Wiggins is at 16.5 on for points. Andrew Wiggins is also at 4.5 for rebounds and 2 3-pointers. Yep. From the conversation we had yesterday, the 3-pointers is actually the thing I like the most, that he'll hit like 3 of 6 from 3 tonight, because as Andy mentioned in an interview you can hear both on the YouTube channel and on the podcast feed, what they ask him to do is play defense and take threes. So that's going to be something that's available for Andrew Wiggins tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, I think because of the nature of the Warriors offense and the fact that the offense in general is an inconsistent offense, I wouldn't feel terribly comfortable with that being the direction I go.
With the fact that it's against the Knicks?
I mean, well, because it's against Tibbs and it's a guy who, but
I didn't even factor that part in, the Wiggins Tibbs part. I'm literally just saying the Knicks allow a lot of open threes. The reason you had me take Derek White the other night when the Knicks played the Spurs is because the Knicks allow like guys to hit bunches of open threes. I'm not saying he's going to go off today. I'm saying he's going to hit 3 3-pointers.
No, I hear you. I also could see Wiggins, I don't know how good Wiggins is going to do, with the spotlight on him tonight. Like some guys rise up to that moment and other guys don't. The guy who I like for the over threes is Jordan Poole. And I know his percentage this year is not, I think it's actually, it's gone down. We talked about this, I think, on the most improved thing, right?
Yeah.
On the Patreon. Yeah. That said, 2.5 3-pointers made. Like, you want to talk about a guy who's going to fire away? Like, that dude's going to fire away.
Jordan Poole.
Yeah, Jordan Poole. Exactly.
Derrick Rose still 1.5 on threes right now.
What's that?
Is Derrick Rose still? Yeah, Derrick Rose is also still 1.5 on 3-pointers.
That's so. If you want my prize picks right now, it's Emmanuel Quickly over points, it's Jordan Poole over threes, and it's Derrick Rose over threes, 1.5. And I think I'm going to finish off mine with a Warrior, not one of the big guys, but someone we mentioned before, Kevon Looney over 7 rebounds. I like that number because one, the Knicks have been ass on the defensive glass this season. Correct. They're 25th in the league in defensive rebounding. I think that Kevon Looney, because of how the Knicks, kind of go about their business, I think Kerr will play him a lot. We see. So I have his game log up right now. When he has played at least 20 minutes in a game, we're talking about Kevon Looney, he has gotten it's been 9 games. He's gotten 8 or more rebounds in 7 of those games. He got exactly 7 in another, and then 1 game he got 5 rebounds. And then there's a bunch of games where he's played, less than 20 minutes where he's gotten, he's gotten 7 or more. Not a bunch. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So I think he's going to play, and I think it's going to be, he'll get his boards.
So this is really predicated on how you think the Warriors offense will look tonight. Draymond Green over 6.5 assists. If you think the Warriors break out tonight, and the Knicks, who have consistently allowed, as we've hinted on a lot, or harped on really a lot throughout this pregame show, if you think the Knicks are going to allow a lot of open threes, then there's going to be a lot of assists available for the Warriors. Draymond Green, in 17 of the 26 games that he's played this year, has at least 7 assists. So that's actually a line that I starred. Like, I crossed out Nerlens Noel. I crossed out Looney. I like 7.
How many this year?
6.5. Oh, in this season, 17 of their 26 games, he's had at least 7 assists. Like 4 of them good. Can just be from that pick and pop he does with Steph.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's a pretty good number.
That's why I was, before we officially rule on the four lines. So Derrick Rose over 1.5 threes, Jordan Poole over 2.5 threes, Emmanuel Quickly over 12.5 points, and Kevon Looney over 7 rebounds. That's what we got now. I really like Draymond Green.
We don't have to do an out of town play. We could just 5. Do yeah. I like those 5. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do those 5,
So to recap, everybody, we're going. Apparently, Derrick Rose is starting tonight. That is an official prediction. That is an official call.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, so Derrick Rose is in the lineup tonight. Shout out.
I mean,
wait a minute, Derrick Rose and wait, never mind.
What?
I forgot. No, I forgot that RJ's out. So I was like, Derrick Rose and Alec Burks are starting. That must mean the Fournier. Nope, never mind.
No.
Got a little ahead of myself.
No.
Okay, so our official 5-pick flex.
Although as an aside, I am very curious to see how this starting lineup looks because you can make a case. Putting the center position aside, because Nerlens, dear God, putting the center position aside, you could certainly and actually pretty easily make a case that if everyone was playing like around where they should be playing, this is the best 4 Knicks starters.
Yeah,
it's Derrick Rose, Julius Randle, and on offense for sure. Derrick Rose, Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, Mr. $18 million a year. And then there's a few names for that last spot. I personally think Burks, I always have Burks a little bit ahead of RJ on offense. Maybe quickly get some in that conversation when he's really going, but just like consistent, steady, like it's Burks. So I'm curious to see how this foursome, does. And then listen, the only Quickly's going to get a lot of minutes. That's why I said I think Quickly will play a ton. Knox scares the shit out of me. His 18 points the other day did absolutely nothing to dissuade me from thinking he's not an NBA player. Because he can't do the other things that you need him to do.
Right there with you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's the center position is frightening right now. That's all.
So here's what I'm going to do. Our official 5-pick flex play for tonight. Let me go back into the page. Derrick Rose over 1.5 made threes. Jordan Poole over 2.5 made threes. Emmanuel Quickly over 12.5 points. Kevon Looney over 7 rebounds. And Draymond Green over 6.5 assists. That's 10. You get all 5 right, you win 10 times the amount that you wagered. You get 4 right, you get double your amount. And if you get 3 out of 5, you get 20% back on what you put down. And then, John, a little extra for the people. Okay. So let me just look at one quick out of town that I liked.
Sure.
So the Taco Tuesday special for tonight is Chris Paul 10 assists. That is actually not as great as I thought. It was 8.5 a couple minutes ago, so that makes this bit a little not great. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do an all under for 5-pick flex play for tonight, and go Julius Randle under 20.5, Alec Burks under 16.5, Evan Fournier under 12.5, and then to stick with the point of working this Claudio magic here, Nerlens Noel under 4.5 points. He had 0 points in the last game. Okay. And then Steph Curry under 5.5 made threes. I'll take all 5 of them, take the under, and we'll see if the Claudio magic works a little bit.
Just one quick, I think easy money over. I know he was questionable because he has some kind of injury, but Harden's not playing tonight because he just entered protocols, and the Nets have
Durant.
4 healthy players and a ball boy, or whatever. But
it's officially they have 7 players now in health and safety protocols.
I mean, and Durant has played 40 some odd minutes, a lot of games tonight. They're going up against Toronto. Durant's over under is 34.5. I mean, it's a big number, but
that jumped too. I got him this morning. Wait a minute. I got him this morning at 26.
God bless. God bless you.
Prize picks. Yeah. I got him over. I got him over 7.5 rebounds. Oh, this is going to cancel because I got Harden in here. So this is going to be different later. Anyway.
It's unfortunate.
Okay. So those are the 2 5-pick flex plays. We'll tweet them out. If you also played along with us tonight, do us a favor and do our friends at PrizePicks a favor and tweet out your selection and tag both Knicks Film School and PrizePicks in your promotional tweet. We'd greatly appreciate it. I know they would greatly appreciate it. Last 2 questions before I let you go, John.
Yes.
You getting any Deuce McBride minutes tonight?
No, I mean, maybe in the last couple minutes of the game.
Because it's the score might be out of reach. Okay. And then a final score prediction.
I 105, 100 Warriors.
Wow, you really think it's going to be close, huh?
I think the Knicks will come out and they'll play hard, and I think they'll give it the requisite effort on defense, and they will run into ruts where they don't score the ball like they have all season. And they're going up against the best defense in the league by a not insignificant margin. That is going to make it really tough for them to score. I think they'll make some pull-up threes. I think they'll go on their usual run here or there. That would be my prediction. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong. I never want to see my team lose. Hate picking against my team. But if you're asking me my gut feeling, yeah.
So official prediction for tonight. John hates the Knicks and very much thinks that tonight is the beginning of the end for Tom Thibodeau, and that this will be how we begin the train to get him out of here, John.
Tom Thibodeau will be fine. The Knicks will be fine. They have an easy schedule coming up. I do think that they need to get healthy and they need to get all these players back. And who knows? Maybe they lose tonight, but they figure something out and they find something. It just all it takes is one game to make something click, and then you could go on a nice little run. So
let's see. We shall see. For those interested, you can join John and I over on Playback through our Knicks Film School Patreon. It's available for all Mello, Monroe, and Ewing tier patrons. We'll be on for the entire first half, and then sporadically, potentially, depending on what the score is, in the second half. You can join John on his halftime Zoom if you're a subscriber of the Knicks Film School newsletter. And as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to the Prize Picks pregame show. And like we said before, send out your screenshots, tag Knicks Film School. You can tag me and John, but most importantly, tag Prize Picks. Use promo code Film School if you want to get an instant match of
free money.
It really is like a really fun thing. Another way to enjoy games. Listen, I was just on a Jets pod before this, John. They were talking about how boring the game was on Sunday, and I said, wasn't boring for me. I took Zach Wilson under in points. I took Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill over. It was actually a blast for me watching the Jets on Sunday.
There you go. I bet it was.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Adios.
Adios.